It's a good starting off point for me to do a quick Faber report involving Elon.
You have something?
Yeah, I got a little bit as we take a look at DEFCON 5 Dan on Tesla. Reporting after the bell
tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Is Tesla. Shares down another 5+%. But a few things to add here on Musk and where his attention may be and whether he's in fact back focused on Tesla and other companies. Last Wednesday, some people involved in a call involving xAI tell me he was on the call for quite some time. And again, if you want evidence perhaps that he's moving away a bit from Doge back to sort of some of the key areas that he's been associated with, whether it be Tesla or xAI. Of course, xAI, the artificial intelligence company, he began a couple of years back. We've talked a lot about it. Its value has skyrocketed. Let me give you some takeaways from the call itself. It was with a number of the companies, with a number of the investors in xAI, going over a number of important things that included the closing of the Twitter transaction, the X transaction. Remember, xAI and X are now one company, valuing X at $33 billion. Going in, xAI had a value of as much as $80 billion. And people take away from the call, at least what I've heard, is the company is setting up for another capital raise of great significance, apparently. And I have not been able to confirm this. I have put a couple of calls in. Jared Birchall, for example, as well, has not gotten back to me, who's advises on all of sort of Musk's matters in terms of financials. But on the call, Musk is quoted as having said, we're going to put a proper value on the company in reference to xAI. And people took that to mean, and again, this is speculation, that they will have a large raise. The last raise, remember that I reported on, $6 billion. This one would be far in excess of that. Some estimate perhaps you get a raise of something like $25 billion for a value that could purport to be between $150 and $200 billion. That's speculation. But that is kind of the conversation that's going on after this call. They did talk about actual revenues that are starting to come from xAI, perhaps a run rate of $1 billion or more for the course of the year in terms of revenues from the company. Had not really been that large an expectation that there would be revenues this year. And just to put in perspective, of course, the enormous increase in value for xAI. Remember, they had Colossus #1 in Memphis, where they put that data center together basically in some record amount of time, filled with H100s and H200s. They're now embarking on Colossus 2. They're going to need a lot of capital for that as well. But xAI's valuation is just a nothing but move skyward. Those who were involved originally, let's call it $12 a share is kind of where you could have bought stock at the early days. This, they valued it on the call at $36.50. And this is kind of a new product for us, but it's a reliance we have on a third party to give us some sense in terms of the secondary market.
So this is CNBC's
Forge Global tracks the company's shares in the secondary market.
Fabulous.
And that gives you a sense. Look at the move up. That actually happened.
Fabulous.
Actually, that's a while ago, but you can see that last move up there. If we do it on a closer basis, you can see it was right after the call, I believe.
So that's Grok and X. What else do we get if we were in there?
You get Grok and X. You get Grok, you get Grok 3, and you get X.
Grok just improves and improves it by the day.
They're in the process of doing a tender for, some shares of may have been X employees, and there might have been some of the investors in X who want to at least get some liquidity. They want to take care of that. They reincorporated X, by the way, in Nevada. People may remember as well. But they are setting up for what I'm told is going to be an enormous round. Of course, to put it in perspective, OpenAI raising some $40 billion not long ago. The number is so staggering, $40 billion. There's not an IPO that we've ever reported on. It was raised $40 billion. SoftBank being the main investor there. So that does say, even if it was 25, it would not be what his rival OpenAI recently raised.
But are you starting to hear what I'm hearing, which is that people are saying he stole X? That X turned out to be this worldwide newspaper, and he ended up doing far better than we thought.
I don't know, Jim. It's hard to know. They valued it, I believe, at $33 billion for purposes of this transaction that brought the two companies together under the xAI banner. Got to remember as well, X was benefiting from some revenues that were coming from xAI, which was paying them for the data. That obviously goes away. So, the revenue number at X had fallen significantly from the time that he took it private, but obviously they have been a beneficiary, certainly over the last year or so as well. So I guess coming back, sorry.
But that he was on the call, I think, is news in itself.
Without a doubt, right? I think coming back to one of the larger themes you can take away, and obviously a lot of this is sort of in the realm of general, but maybe he's starting to move away. We haven't heard from him as much involving Doge. Right. And so back to what you were discussing, Carl, as we await Tesla earnings, will we start to see perhaps more of a presence again from Mr. Musk?
Well, he had that loss for his candidate in Wisconsin. Right. The Doge savings are going to be a fraction of what he initially promised. His IRS chief, if you believe the reports, Shapley, has been replaced because Besson was critical of that hire. So,
at the same time, I've been waiting for the big ones. I've been waiting for big defense, big Medicare. Because that's where I think that the whole nation thinks that there's a lot of fat. It would be incredible if his legacy was to go after the easy pickings, wouldn't it?
Yes. Meantime, it was Wells that reiterates an underweight 130. In large part, they call anything about Optimus or Cybercab, quote, razzle-dazzle, which they think will be used as an attempt to distract from fundamentals.
No, I totally disagree with that. There's a terrific piece in New Yorker by John Cassidy, which talks about how AI is taking over. And the ultimate will be the robots that really do take over. Now, against that, Jensen Huang would say, wait a second, we're running out of people. We have a low birth rate, and it's a crisis. But when you read Cassidy, you realize, wait a second, who's really going to take over? And it's going to be Musk's robots in his image.
It may well be. I mean, it's funny. We've been so focused, obviously, on so many other macroeconomic factors and the tariff war and things of that nature. AI continues to just grow enormously in power every day.
Every day.
Passed the Turing test recently. Kind of didn't get a lot of... I mean, there was a time when that would have been a major moment, and here we are. I don't know if you guys caught it. Sam Altman did an interesting conversation at TED Talk with Chris Anderson from TED, talking about... really questioned him hard. I give him credit in terms of the power that he has, how he's using it, and what his plans are to make sure this is safe.
Even the amount of power that's wasted by saying please and thank you to the agents.
Yes, that's
crazy.
An interesting one as well.
The 3Ds. And the 3Ds. Dull, dangerous, dirty.
What was the first one?
Jobs that'll be replaced?
These jobs are gone.
Oh,
that's a dangerous job. You don't want. How can you? A robot costs 60 G's, one time only. Takes over a dangerous job. A box.
Healthcare benefits?
Yeah, right. Medicare Part D. That's sham.
Well, I know every time we talk AI now, you go right to robots. That's certainly an important part of it, but it's going to be a while until we actually see humanoid robots all over the place.
All right,
that's a while.
I think accountants do a huge amount of drudgery work, and that do a lot of auditing. That 5 people descend on your office.
By the way,
and they just sit there.
It's going to be able to code better than the best coder in a very short amount of time, at least if you believe any number of the experts who discuss this. It is getting there so quickly.
It is.
I mean, it wasn't that long ago that everybody was encouraging their kids to become, computer scientists.
Right.